happened in Loki. Now we can say Season 1, Episode 6, the finale for the first season. Because at the very end, while there was no end credit scene, as I kept scrolling back and forth to make sure I didn't miss anything, we get the stamp of approval. Loki, Season 2, is coming. I need it now, because the cliffhanger that this just ended on, boom, just opened everything up, and this absolutely solidified why Loki is one of the best MCU shows. It's the best one yet, but it's also one of the best things that Marvel has ever done. I am flippin' floored. Love this show top to bottom, and this finale was not just intriguing, shocking, stunning, it was fantastic and absolutely opened up the multiverse, which is only going to go deeper within Spider-Man No Way Home and, of course, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There is so much to discuss, and there's going to be a lot that I miss. So if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking Marvel stuff over here on a daily basis. I am a giant geek, just like many of you, and we're going to have such a blast over here every single day talking movies, TV, and games. And the other thing, guys, is make sure to comment down below your guys' thoughts, your theories. What do you see happening next? Because, guys, Kang is officially in the MCU. He was casted quite a bit ago. We knew Jonathan Majors was going to play him. And while he's showing up in Ant-Man 3, he is officially also shown up in Loki, and which was just honestly like a great thing, because I kept going back and forth. People kept saying, is it a variant Loki that's going to be the big thing? Is it Kang? Is it variant? Is it Kang? I'm very happy that I stuck with my gut and said, it's going to be Kang. I had things that it could be a variant of Loki, but it very much was Kang in the end, pulling all the puppet strings, which just leaves us to be very much on edge for what is going on. This was a mind trip in an episode, and I'm going to miss talking about certain things because I just got done watching it. This is very much my reaction talking about this, and holy shit, I mean, they get to the castle, they open it up, and this door opens up, which first off, let me just say this. Miss Minutes scared the shit out of me. I don't know if it was just me. When Miss Minutes popped up and she starts talking, well, you know, he can give you this, he can give you this. Starts opening up a bunch of different doors, she disappears. And Kang, of course, comes down in this, elevator of a sense, and the second I saw Jonathan Majors, it just popped right there that it's, holy shit, it's Kang. And they go in the elevator, they have this great discussion, but the thing is Sylvie, in this instance, cannot even control her rage, because this is the man who took her entire life away, and she goes for it. She goes to kill him, and he just totally fast in that time traveling. He knows where every single instance is going to happen. He's planned it out and very much cemented it all the way, as he very much discusses, because the conversation between the two Lokis, of course, Loki and Sylvie, and, of course, Jonathan Majors' Kang, which I don't even think they actually said his name was Kang, but us as viewers will know that is Kang because he's been casted as it. And, you know, they have, nice little tidbits when they ask him, well, you know, I've been called this, I've been called this, I've been called a Conqueror, and we're like, I get you, Kang the Conqueror. But having this discussion of him having them sit down and very much explain everything. Again, there's a lot to dissect, and I'm not even going to try to sit there and recap everything he said, but for the basic knowledge of it, he very much talked about the multiverse and how it's very much now opened up for so many different avenues, and how this in particular is a very unique ride, because now this Kang, we have laid out that the Kang that we saw is not the worst Kang in the world, but there's other variants, multiverses, versions of him that are gonna come now. And we see that because Sylvie ends up, by the end, killing him. And he pretty much said there's two choices. You can kill me, but the multiverse wars were open again, which kind of can go down later to the road, where I do think we will get Secret Wars directly after Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I think that will be the next big Avengers level event. And I'm going to stick with that. I don't think they've announced it yet, but I think we'll probably get it around 2023, 2024. I think that'll be that next big conclusion to this whole entire arc. And again, Kang is going to be the next big villain in the MCU. He's that big of a Thanos level threat. Sorry, I gotta catch my breath. I am so amazed by this. But, of course, leading up to the events of Sylvie killing him, there's some great dialogue, and we're sitting there hearing his thoughts, hearing his plans, and Jonathan Majors does such an amazing job already intersecting to be one of the coolest new characters inside phase 4 of the MCU. And just hearing his conversation, hearing his talks, and the personality, the extravagantness of him, it's going to be interesting to see the variant or the version of him we see in Ant-Man and the Wasp. But it's also going to be interesting to see what other versions we might see of him. Will the version in Ant-Man and the Wasp be the actual villain of Kang that we're thinking about? Or is this just going to be another variant of him that's popping up in here? Will the Loki season 2 actually address who this version is? Will he show up in Doctor Strange? There's so many questions for what could possibly happen. And I'm just like, again, my mind is completely blown from there. And then, of course, leading up to that, when pretty much, again, you kill him, the timeline's going to erupt. But if you don't, I can retire and take over and all this sorts of stuff. And, you know, Sylvie and Loki get into this fight, which, again, was very entertaining. But this is a very thought-provoking episode. This whole show hasn't been about the action in general. While the action's been enjoyable, it has very much been about the timeline. It's been about these characters and the development about that and the relationships. And again, time itself. And that is what's so fascinating about this show and in general the characters. That fight scene between Loki and Sylvie. And by the end where they finally, that sexual tension between them, they finally kissed, which again, a lot of us have been shipping it. A lot of us have been wanting that. It happened. They kissed. She pushes him through the portal and then ends up going and killing Kang. We see the bridge by the back of it all splitting and it just completely going erupting. Now, from their point, of course, let's jump back over to the TVA for a bit because, of course, we see Mobius is doing what he's doing. He released B-15. She is letting everyone know what is going on in this world. She shows that one agent, Renslayer's other variant of herself in Ohio in 2018, and just different elements of that. Them really much burning the bridges there. But Mobius versus Renslayer on that one moment, he couldn't take her on. She ends up disappearing, and who knows where she is gone. Of course, we know in the comics that she is a big love interest to Kang, so I'm assuming that'll probably tie into either season 2 or again later down the road. Maybe we even see her in Ant-Man 3. There's again so many different skepticals. I'm not even gonna try and predict where the fuck they're gonna go next, but I'm all in for this ride. But of course, even jumping in there a little bit more, the big thing of course is when Loki gets transported back. He's running through and you know we see Mobius and we see Hunter B sitting there looking at the scene, the timeline implode. Everyone's running around, all of their heads are cut off pretty much. It feels like chickens running around with their head cut off, not knowing what to do. But of course Loki runs up to them and it doesn't seem like they remembered him. They don't remember that he's a variant. They don't remember that he's Loki. They just think, oh, you work here, what division are you in, blah blah. And Loki turns around and he sees the statue of Jonathan Majors Kang standing right there. From there, from what I can understand, is he in another version of the multiverse of the TVA? Is this a different timeline for it? What is going on? That's my only explanation that I could probably think of. I'm wondering what you guys are thinking of as well. But of course it ends right there and the credits hit and a giant cliffhanger goes. What's going on with Sylvie? What's happening with the TVA? Where is this other Kang variant coming? When is he coming? He is this dangerous. Loki is scared. And fuck, who knows what is going to happen next? Because again, doors open now. The flesh world, everything. It is absolutely mind-boggling. And I cannot wait to have a great discussion with you guys down below in the comment section about this because it's absolutely going to be a freaking blast. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in throughout this entire season. Again, with all that said, I am going to give Loki Season 1 an A+. I absolutely love this show. It is my favorite MCU show to date, and it is one of my favorite things Marvel has ever done before. I loved it. I remember when this was announced, I wasn't that excited. I was like, another Loki, he's already died. Why are we doing this? But the way that they handled this show is absolutely great. I am sad we didn't get an actual end credits scene. I kept scrolling back and forth to make sure. But the fact that we're getting a season 2 just makes me really hyped. And that season 2 cannot come any sooner. Can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. And of course, until next time, stay classy.